Hello all. Next we are going for the interprocess communication. Assume that there is a need to send through the kernel. We have to send a message and output data. A message of a known size with or without header or a flag to notify an event for processing or taking the note by another task. So IPC, interprocess communication from a process for a message, that is nothing but it is going to act as a task or a thread. So IPC in a multiprocessor system used to generate the information about the certain sets of a computational finishing on one processor and to let the other processor waiting for finishing the computation take the note on the information, that is global variable problems and share data. So when it comes to the interprocess communication, what is going to happen, there is a memory block will be there and that memory block is shared between the data. One is either your processor or with the another resources or input data. So when it comes to the IPC in a multiprocessor system used to generate the information about the certain sets of the communication finishing on the one of the processors and to let the other processor waiting for finishing the computation take a note of the information, that is nothing but the global variable problems and shared data. Operating system provisions for the IPC functions: a signal for the other process to start, a semaphore, we are going to call it as a token or a mutex, semaphore or counting the semaphores for the inter-task communication between the task sharing the common buffer, queue, mailbox. So when it comes to the semaphore, so it is nothing but the one of the token, and that what is the that token is going to do when n number of processes are going to execute, which process is under which state, that will be taken care by operating system, and next to finish that process completed be, it is also taken care by the operating system. So which all process are under queue, which all process are under mailbox, so these functions are going to comes under the IPC, that is interprocess communication. For example, there is a block of memory is there, in that block of memory n number of processes are going to come, P1 to Pn. So executing P1, P2 dash 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 up to Pn one by one with respect to their priority. So that is taken care by the operating system. Okay. Next comes the function or a task or a ISR, interrupt service routine. What is function? A function is an entity used in any program. A function is an entity used in any program. A function, task or a thread for performing specific set of actions when called, and on finishing the action and control returns to the function calling entity, a calling function or a task or a process or a thread. So what is function? In short, it is an entity which is under of a program which is going to execute. For example, there is one program is there, and that in that program n number of functions are available. So those functions are going to be executed. We are going to call it as a thread or a task, and these have to be finished one by one. Next comes the function. Each function has an unique ID, a program counter, it's a stack which saves when it calls another function, and the stack restores on the return to the caller. Function can be nested, one function call another, that can call another, and so on later on returns its a reverse order, f1 calling f2, f2 calling f3. So the task of these all functions have to be executed in its lifetime of the process. Okay, and the process in the what is going to happen in the journey of this process, all the function have to be executed, and each having their unique ID, and those will be stored in a program counter. Next comes the ISR, interrupt service routine. ISR is a function called on interrupt from an interrupting resource. Further, unlike a function, The interrupt service routine can have the hardware and the software assigned priorities. Further, unlike a function, the ISR can have the mask which inhibits the execution on the event when the mask is set and enables the execution when the mask reset. So what is going to happen when it comes to the interrupt service routine? I like to tell you that right now suppose I am engaged in the class and someone principal has interrupted me. So somewhere at the point I am going to stop. Okay, next the principal is going to address you people and after they are going, and next I have to starts from that point where I have left. So this is the interrupt service routine. So ISR is a function called an interrupt from an interrupting source. So when it is going to called, sometimes what is going to happen, the process which is executing is interrupted by the high priority process. Next that high priority process is another interrupted by the another high priority process, like this go on. At the somewhere it have to be returned back to the original process, and at the end all the process have to go through the have to go for the execution. Distinction between the function, interrupt service routine and the task. First uses a function for running a specific set of codes for the performing a specific set of action as per the argument passed to it. Function is the smallest part of that program. Okay, next ISR for interrupt service routine for running an event specific set of codes for performing a specific set of actions for servicing the interrupt call. So here what is going to happen, interrupt service call is going to occur and when another high priority process is executed, and next set of actions have to be executed, set of codes have to be also executed. Next comes the task for running the codes on the context, switching to it by operating system, and the codes can be endless loop for the events. Next comes the calling source. The first one is uses, next one is calling source. Function call from another function or a process or a thread or a task. ISR interrupt, that is interrupt service routine, interrupts the call for running an ISR, can form hardware or a software at any instance. A task, a call to run the task is from the system, that is real-time operating system, can let the another high priority task to execute after blocking the present one. It is the kernel which is going to control the entire scheduling. This is by the calling source. Next comes the context saving. When it comes to the context saving, a function run by the change in the program counter, when the change in the program counter, that time what is going to happen, there is a stack is available on which of the top of the stack that program is going to execute, and next what is going to happen, the previous one where it is running, that is have to be stopped, and other values called the function context. All the function have a common stack in order to support the nesting. ISR, each ISR is an interrupt driven function code. The code run by the change in the program counter instantaneous values. The ISR has to stack the program counter instantaneous values and the other values that must be saved. To understand this, you have to understand that there is a program which is under execution, which is interrupted by the high priority program. So that time the values, the counter program, it have to be saved in the interrupt service routine, so that can when it is going to re-execute, it uses the same program counter and it uses the same values. All the ISR can have the common stack in case the operating system supports nesting. Next comes the task. Each task has a distinct task, that is stack at the distinct memory block for the context. To understand this, you have to understand the working of how the stack is going to behave and how the tasks are using the stack data structure. The program counter instantaneous values and the other CPU register values in the task control block that must be saved. Each task has a distinct process, that is distinct process structure, we are going to call it as a TCB. For it a distinct memory block. So whenever the program is under execution, it uses the memory. So how much memory, how much the program counter, where is the program counter, and which is the values that has to be stored in the one of the memory register. So then only it is easy to reschedule those tasks. Next comes the response and synchronization function. Nesting of one another program or a hardware mechanism for sequential nested mode synchronization between the functions directly without control of the scheduler or the operating system. The ISR, hardware mechanism for responding to an interrupt for the interrupt source calls according to the given OS kernel features, and the synchronizing mechanism for the ISR, and that can be nesting supports by the operating system. Task, according to the given operating system OS kernel feature, there is a task responding and synchronizing mechanism. The kernel functions are used for the task synchronization because only the operating system kernel calls a task to run at a time. When a task runs and when it blocks, it is fully under the control of OS. Next point is structure function. It can be the subunit of a process or the thread or a task or a ISR or a subunit of another function. Interrupt service routine can be considered as a function which runs on an event at the interrupting source. A pending interrupt is scheduled to run using an interrupt handling mechanism in the operating system. The mechanism can be priority based scheduling. During the running of an interrupt service routine can let another high priority ISR to run. So it's the overall this is the structure is that it can be a function, it can be a task, it can be a sub module or sub unit. So the main motto of this structure is that it have to be interrupted when the high priority schedule is coming, and it have to be executed when the high priority process is going to finish. Next comes the task. It is an independent, can be considered as a function which is called to run by the operating system scheduler using the context switching and the task scheduling mechanism of the OS. The system during running of the task can let the another high priority task run. The control manages the task scheduling. Next comes the global variable use. So when it comes to the global variable use, the function, the ISR and the stack, it is uses the global variables. It can change the global variables. The interrupts must be disabled, and after finishing the use of the global variables and the interrupts are enabled. ISR, when using the global variable init, the interrupt must be disabled, and after finishing the use of the global variables, the interrupts are enabled, analogous to case of the function. When using the global variables, either the interrupts are disabled, and after the finishing the use of the global variables, the interrupts are enabled. It is like a semaphore. In the critical sections, which can use the global variables and the memory buffers. So is nothing but in the global variable, your program have to be stored, and it is using the program counter, it is using the sum of the program values, and it is using the memory. So when it comes to the global variables, when a function, ISR, task or semaphore, using of it, you have to use the global variables. So this is all about the global variables. Next, in the next session, we are going to for the posting and sending the parameters.